opportunity to play for the New York Giants was truly a dream come true, and I'm extremely grateful to the Mara and Tish families for the chance to play here. There have been some great times, but of course, we all wish there had been more of those. I take full responsibility for my part in not bringing more wins.
What's next for Daniel Jones? Is his career in the NFL over? Well, it looks like Jones' stint in the NFL is most likely coming to an end, given the way things are going for him. His future in the NFL is uncertain after his struggles and recent release by the New York Giants. Despite starting the 2024 season as QB1, injuries and poor performances led to a 2-8 record before his demotion. At just 28, Jones may still have opportunities, with teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, Titans, or Browns potentially interested in him as a backup or reclamation project. However, his future as a starter is less likely, but a stable franchise could offer him a chance to rebuild his career. But will that be possible? Let's run it back a little, shall we? Daniel Jones signed a massive 4-year, $160 million contract with the New York Giants in March 2023, including $92 million guaranteed and an average annual salary of $40 million. The deal was largely based on his impressive performance in 2022, where he threw for 3,205 yards, had 15 touchdowns against only 5 interceptions, and added 708 rushing yards with 7 touchdowns. That season led the Giants to a playoff win, creating optimism for his future as their franchise quarterback. But what has changed? Why did the Giants decide to release Jones? Well, his contract, which was once viewed as one of the most lucrative ones, is actually now viewed as one of the worst in the history of the NFL. Jones's form and durability have declined significantly in recent times. He played only 6 games in 2023 due to injuries, including an ACL tear, and struggled in 2024 with poor performances and a 2-8 record before being benched. His $47.85 million cap hit in 2024 and the substantial dead money tied to his deal has made him a financial burden for the Giants, limiting their flexibility. The organization's reported decision to move on reflects regret over the deal, and that is exactly why it is viewed as one of the worst in the history of the NFL. To top it off, moving on from Jones remains costly for the Giants. Why, you might ask? That is because if they release him in 2025, they would still incur significant dead cap penalties, though spreading the hit over 2 years via a post-June 1st designation could reduce the impact to a certain extent. But not entirely. Well, that's why it's goodbye for Jones from New York after all. Not just the franchise, but the fans were quite frustrated with the player as well. After the team committed to him with a significant 4-year, $160 million contract in 2023, expectations were obviously high. And because Jones has struggled to deliver, with the team sitting at 2-8 before he was benched, they don't want him anymore. Fans were particularly angry about the lack of progress in Jones's ability to elevate the offense, even with improved supporting talent around him. The team's struggles this season have once again initiated debates about whether the Giants overestimated Jones's capabilities after his standout 2022 season, which now appears to be something not many would believe. The demand of the fans was simple: a newer direction at quarterback, particularly with younger, cheaper options in future drafts. So these are all the reasons for the release of the 28-year-old player. So at a time like this, when Jones will want a new challenge for himself, which team could sign him? Well, he might just be in luck, as many quarterbacks in the NFL are not living up to the expectations in recent times, and there are a few teams who may want him as a starter or a backup. And which are those teams? Let's find out after the team demoted him to quarterback number 4 on the depth chart. He was granted a release from the team and anticipated to have multiple options, but likely will prefer to finish this season on a playoff-contending team. Sources also confirmed that multiple teams across the league have reached out to the Giants, inquiring about Jones's interest. However, no official negotiations or conversations have begun. This could mean it may take the quarterback a considerable amount of time to find a playoff contender team, making it unlikely for that to happen this season. Jones's preferences for his next team are quite specific, as he does not wish to land a team in need of a quarterback. Instead, he wants to use a play for a playoff contender. The quarterback wants to avoid the pressure of taking the entire responsibility of the entire team upon his shoulder, and by joining a strong team as a backup would allow him to settle in a new situation. There are a few teams with established starters who are dealing with injuries. Brock Purdy is expected to miss a game or two, and 49ers may be a landing spot for Jones. With Dak Prescott out of the season, the Cowboys also may have an eye on him. If Jones to fail find a team for himself in the next few months, his time in the NFL may very well be done for good. So where do you see Jones fit the best? Or is this the end of his career already at 28 years of age? What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below.